We'll be going through chapter 11, part 1 on finding and plotting the coordinates. So over here we've got a QR code, this is the YouTube link, of a story of how the coordinate system came about. Now this Cartesian plane is represented by the intersection of two perpendicular number lines. So over here we can see an example of the Cartesian plane. Here we have a vertical line, a vertical number line, and a horizontal number line. They are perpendicular to each other. The horizontal number line is known as the x-axis. So here's the horizontal number line, indicated by an x over here. So this is called the x-axis. And the vertical number line is known as the y-axis. The point of intersection of the two lines over here, this is where they intersect, is the origin. Usually we use the letter O to denote it. Now this over here is the origin. This Cartesian plane has 4 quadrants. It is separated into 4 parts, separated by the x and y axis. So this region is known as the first quadrant. First quadrant. Then we go anti-clockwise. This is known as the second quadrant. So it refers to anything over here. This is the second quadrant. Continue. This will be the third quadrant. And finally, the fourth quadrant. After we have defined the Cartesian plane, now we need to use it to determine where points are. So for example, if we got a point called P, so this point P is represented by an x coordinate and a y coordinate, separated by a comma, and they are both inside round bracket. We can choose to write it this way, or we can choose to write it this way. The difference is that there's an equal sign over here. Whether you write the equal or not doesn't matter. Okay, so the first number inside the bracket A is known as the x coordinate. The second number inside the bracket is known as the y coordinate. Now the x coordinate just means if it has a value of A representing any number, it is the number of units horizontally from the origin. The y coordinates, in this case represented by B, is the number of units vertically from the origin. So we will mark a point using a cross and label the point using a capital letter. That will be the name of the point. So if we were to use this definition, the origin, where it is over here, is represented by 0 units to the right and 0 units upwards from the origin. The origin also has a name called the reference point for describing the position of all other points on the Cartesian plane. So I'll use an example, point B over here. So this particular point B, this is the name, and the first number is the x coordinate, the second number is the y coordinate. How did the number 4 come about? So this is how we do it. Starting from the origin, we move towards the point B. So we move 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right. So since I moved 4 units to the right, the x coordinate will be 4. After I've reached this point, I now start moving upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units upwards. 5 units up. That's where we get this 5 from. So using this idea, we've got point B with the coordinates 4, 5. Using this idea, please identify where is the point 5, 4 on this same diagram. 5 units to the right and 4 units upwards. Once you have identified it, put a cross and conclude. Are these 2 points the same or are they different?